What's up, YouTube fam? It's a Davis Journey coming at you with a new video. Hope you're having a good day, week, month, life. Get it. Today's topic is going to be about my journey and the vegan lifestyle. Where do we begin? Just a little brief background. Born and raised in Southern California. Parents fed me home cooked meals every night. We're talking steak, potatoes, vegetables. Lunches were, turkey sandwiches, ham sandwiches. I didn't really like tomatoes or anything, so it was just like mustard and turkey and bread. Breakfast, lots of eggs, bacon, cereals, those types of things. I prospered growing up as a child. I was very athletic, played in a lot of sports. I was at the top of pretty much anything. And anyone that grew up with me can vouch for that. So it's kind of ironic, those foods treated me very well. I was strong, lean, fast, explosive, smart, so forth. So fast forward a few years, it wasn't until I was about 17 or so, when I had my own license. I had my license, I had my own money. You're hanging out with friends, you're eating out a lot, and that's when I got caught up in that sad diet and started eating, Panda Express, In-N-Out burgers, Jack in the Box, you name it. I was definitely hooked on that stuff for a good period of time, probably up until I was about 21. Mind you, now we're in 2011. So it wasn't until about 2013 I started becoming aware of a vegetarian diet or a pescatarian diet, and I think at that moment I was when I just cut out meat. I was still eating dairy and cheese and eggs and all that stuff, but I couldn't consume the meat anymore. Being raised on meat, I got to a point where I was like over it. I couldn't eat it anymore. I was like sick of it. So I gave up meat about 2013 and started feeling pretty well. It wasn't until I started reading more about the vegan journey, how it could impact the environment, how it's good for the animals and it's good for your health. So those are three things that's like, why would you not try this? And I gave it a go. So I went all in. It was 2015 and I went vegan. So what was I eating on a vegan diet? Morning smoothies consisted of coconut milk that I would make my own sometimes, but other times I would buy from the store, which was supplemented with vitamin D and B12. So, I was getting those nutrients from my smoothies in the morning. So we're talking coconut milk, get those carbs, baby, added those bananas, medjool dates, cinnamon, hemp hearts. Sometimes I'd mix it up with like almond butter, put some peanut butter in there or whatever, starting the day off with a dense protein meal. And it treated me well. Lunchtime would be, fresh salad. We're talking arugula, spinach, romaine, cucumbers, bell peppers, tomatoes, sunflower seeds, and goji berries, and all those things. Dinner meals were, cooked potatoes, lots of tofu. Also make those like zucchini pasta. I'd prep my own. I'd make my own pestos. So, man, these meals were delicious. A lot of prep time though. Man, I felt like I lived in the kitchen. A lot of time and energy built into making these meals come true. So, I was vegan 2015, 2016, 2017. 3 years in, I'm feeling really good. I'm posting all about it, trying to spread the awareness, etc. I'm working at 2 organic farms, very labor intensive. I'm working at the farm and then also selling produce at the farmers markets. So there's a lot of lifting involved and they're very long days, mind you. But the cool thing about working for these organic farms was I was able to reap the surplus from farmers markets. Anything that we didn't sell, I could reap. So We're talking all the kales I ate, all the arugula I ate, all the melons I ate, all the potatoes I ate, all the corn I ate, all the squash I ate, all the grapes I ate. I could go on and on. Literally, California grows nearly almost every, vegetable and fruit all year round. Yeah, there are seasonal stuff as well when you get into like the stone fruit and summertime, summer crops and some winter crops. The cold season crops. You get the broccolis, the cauliflowers, and carrots and Jesus Christ. I mean, I've literally eaten all these fresh organic foods. Literally the day they're picked or the day before. I couldn't be eating a healthier diet in my opinion. I don't know if anyone could say that there was a healthier diet. I mean, maybe there was, maybe there is. I guess I just did veganism wrong because after about 3.5 years, I was very, very skinny. I'm 6 foot tall. Before I went vegan, I was about 165 pounds. When I went vegan, I dropped to 140, and that only took 3 months. Even though I was skinny, I felt great. I was getting a lot of heat from a lot of coworkers and employees. You don't look good. You look like you need to eat some food and this and that. I'm just ignoring that because I feel great and I'm on this whole vegan journey. So kind of just blocked that out. But yeah, 6 foot tall. There was times where I was weighing 137 pounds. I was really, really skinny. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like anorexic, and so people want to say like, oh, well, you need to eat the avocados and the coconuts and the coconut oils and the avocado oils. Like, I did that, folks. I actually had a guy 3 stands from me every Sunday in Hollywood who would sell avocados and avocado oil. The avocados were in my salads. The avocado oil I was cooking with. The coconut meat was in my smoothies. I ate such a high-fat diet on a vegan, and I could not gain a pound. Aside from that, this is totally just free-based. I didn't write any notes or anything. I'm kind of just going through a timeline, what comes to mind right now. So stay with me here. So yeah, I'm eating all this fat and I can't gain any weight. I'm looking really skinny. People are telling me I don't look so great, etc., etc. And it wasn't until 2019, actually towards the end of 2018, so 15, 16, 17, 18, the end of 2018, like towards being 4 years vegan, I started coming across the epitome of vegan videos, and I basically just saw myself in those videos. If I could bring up before and after shots of me before being vegan and after, I mean, I literally just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and yeah, it was really hard on me. I literally was hangry. I was eating all the time. If I didn't get food, I was having mood swings. And not only that, after this is like towards the end of being vegan. I'm working at a farm, and you get lots of questions about how the crops are raised, what kind of pesticides you use. Let me tell you something, organic farms use pesticides as well. They're just organic pesticides. So there is a lot of misinformation when it comes to farming. Anyway, I could not answer these questions. I literally experienced the whole brain fog situation. There was simple words and simple terms that I literally just froze on the spot, and I looked silly. And prior to this, I was able to answer these questions very fluently, right on command, and like have a conversation with a customer and actually make them leave more understanding with what they're buying and who they're supporting. It was like I'd be meeting new people and like trying to hold a conversation with them. They'd ask me like just simple questions, and I would just I'd want to say it, but it just couldn't come out. So definitely, where we at? Super skinny, definitely underweight. I'm getting the whole brain fog situation coming. Couldn't even think of like the simplest terms. Um, Aside from that, I had a tooth back here on the top right that actually literally just what's the word for it? It just like deteriorated inside. I could feel it getting really bad. It like hurt, and one day in the shower it fell out. I literally lost a tooth. I'm sure that was from all the sugar I'm eating in the mornings with those smoothies, or all the berries I've been snacking on. We had strawberries, blueberries. I mean, I literally ate every single type of fresh produce you can think of except tropical fruit. So, yeah, it was definitely in a good place. So, yeah, it wasn't until towards, getting close to being vegan for 4 years is when I started experiencing a lot of side effects of things that just weren't feeling right. I started getting panic attacks, like out of nowhere. I would just be chilling, right, and all of a sudden, like, I'm getting kind of nauseous down here, and then it kind of goes away. I'm getting lightheaded, and then my heart would just pump, just heart palpitations, just like crazy, and I'd have to like sit down, even like lay down, like close my eyes. I'd like go into a meditation and like try to bring myself back. I was definitely on the whole spiritual vibe too in this whole journey. I was meditating every morning. I was doing yoga nearly every single day. I stretched all day long. I would have mantras all day, positive sayings all day. I was reading, books by Eckhart Tolle, the Dalai Lama, lots of books, man. Just trying to expand my consciousness and, become this spiritual being, which didn't really help at all. So, yeah, started having these panic attacks, and they were happening like every other day for about a week, and it finally like kind of went away, and then about a month later it came back, and that started to worry me. It's not feeling good. I mean, I literally thought I would be ending up in a hospital. There's actually a video of myself like documenting these experience days, and I'm breaking down. Like, it's horrible. No one wants to go through that type of stuff. And I gotta do a shout out to my boy Jeff, who went vegan, who back in the day lived that experience and no longer vegan. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I ever would have snapped out of it. And started learning about the whole cholesterol, saturated fat, and how essential those things are for our bodies. So it was pretty crazy. I was getting pretty scared, and having to come out of veganism was not an easy thing. I remember taking my first bite out of, a grass-fed steak, and it was like, I couldn't even stomach it, I took 2 bites and I felt like shit. I started reading that you shouldn't just, if you haven't been eating meat for, consecutive amount of years, it's pretty hard to, bring back into your diet. So I started eating, more eggs at the beginning, a little bit of cheese here and there. Started eating lamb, grass-fed lamb, and I started feeling a lot better. I put on a whole 30 pounds in 3 months. I went from 140 to 170. I started getting biceps. I started having a chest. I'm lifting every day for 3 years, working for these farms, and I'm not gaining nothing. I'm getting 25 to 3,000 calories, eating the freshest produce, getting all the healthy fats, getting all the omega ratios. I'm getting everything, all my calcium, all my iron, all my vitamin A, all my vitamin C, vitamin D from the supplements, B12 from the supplements. I was confused. I'm on Chronometer, seeing all these nutrient results, and I'm just like, why am I having all these ill effects? I'll go there. I had a very low sex drive, and it wasn't easy. I couldn't even keep it up in bed. And my wife is gorgeous. I love you, bless her heart, for staying with me. She was thinking that she wasn't good enough, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, what? Why is this happening? So that started ruining things there, and I started researching. I started to be like, dude, you gotta look at other things. You can't stay down this vegan journey. And there's a lot of people out there that experience the very similar things that I've been expressing to you. And as silly as it does sound, when I started eating those eggs and that cheese, it was literally like the next 3 days were, all right, bedtime, like, whew, that thing's up, and thing's up for a good time. That thing ain't going down. So there's hormones in there that I was definitely not getting on a vegan diet. There's the bioavailability of nutrients in animal foods are definitely more vital than anything else. So yeah, I mean, if we look at these things, being very skinny, not gaining any muscle mass, I was I lost a whole tooth. Like, I don't know how that happens. Started having heart palpitations, low sex drive, couldn't keep it up, type of thing. The brain fog. These are 5 things I never experienced before, and it's like, here I am, a vegan. What's going on? I'm on the healthiest diet. Why aren't these things working out for me? So, yeah, it was very mind-boggling. And it wasn't until I started watching some those epitome of vegans malnourished videos on YouTube, and I literally saw myself in these videos. I'm that skinny person right there that is like looking like a freaking Auschwitz camp member. Jesus Christ. So I came out of it, and it was not easy. It was not easy. I've been, let's see, it's been 8 months, I want to say, since I've been on a vegan diet. So I just landed here in Australia. It's like 2 days ago, so I'm pretty jet lagged right now. Just trying to get this video out and just share my experience. Jeez. So, I mean, that's just my experience with the whole vegan journey. I feel like I gave it my all. Making all my own juices, preparing all my own meals, everything's fresh as it gets. I mean, I don't see how I couldn't continue to thrive. But yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, if you want to make speculation, ask questions, do what you want. This is just me expressing, what I went through, and I'm not the only one that goes through these types of things. So if this really is the healthiest diet, why is it that so many people struggle, and why is it that in nature, being vegan, you're not going to survive? I'm sure you've all seen Naked and Afraid, or maybe not Naked and Afraid, but I don't know, survive 30 days in the jungle. You see all those people come back, they're losing all kinds of weight, they're getting sick. I mean, that's literally what a vegan diet is doing to a lot of us. We're malnourishing ourselves. If we can't thrive in nature on a vegan diet, what does that tell you? So that pretty much wraps up my video for today. One thing I wanted to touch on is, at one point I did want to become a vegan YouTuber, and when I did try to make vegan videos, I literally experienced that brain fog, and I could not compile, a video together without saying the things that I truly wanted to say. So I think that's something very strong that people don't really pay attention to, especially in the vegan YouTube community, is how many times they're cutting and editing these videos, and they can't just, talk for, let alone maybe 30 seconds straight, or even a minute, without having to cut, edit, re-say what they want to really say, etc., etc. So yeah, that's a wrap, folks. If you have any questions, please post them down below. Other than that, I wish you guys the best. I do not judge anyone for what they eat. So maybe it's time the rest of us hop on that train.